Can you tell your classmates to come in so we can start in 5 minutes? Please start. Let um let's just catch up for the ones who are not here yet. But please start this morning.
Okay, good morning. Am I audible, dog?
Yes, go ahead.
Uh, so we are group number 7. I am Sajid Muhammad Agil. So our topic is Introduction to Family Wellness Plan. So what is a family? Family have different definitions. According to social definition, it's an enduring social form in which a person is incorporated, and in a biological form, it is a genetic transmission unit. According to psychological definition of family, it's a matrix of personality development, the most intimate emotional unit of society. So what is family wellness? Family wellness means that everyone in the family has well healthy, mental, functioning, and productive activities. and fulfilling relationship with one another and people outside the family. So what are the importance of family wellness plans and what is family wellness plans? Consistency is hallmark for every health regarding aspects. Long-term practice of these plans will lead to high quality of life. So incorporates family assessment in clinical practice, one-on-one basis for every member. It includes health promotions and all stages of preventive strategies, if applicable. Includes age-specific periodic health examination for every member. So why it is important? Why it is important of family wellness plan? It is a strong support system that is evident in healthcare. As the healthcare system shifts care away from hospitals, family support represents an essential component of the overall recovery of the individual. Families that set and accomplish goals collectively receive the support and motivation needed to achieve them. A well-designed family wellness plan can create lifelong healthy habits and better mental and physical health overall. So, goals of family wellness plan. The family wellness plan program seeks to improve the health of deteriorators holistically through improved health literacy, health behaviors, nutrition, and exercise. The program aims to decrease the risk of developing chronic disease such as type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, osteoporosis, heart disease, and depression in participants. So, the dimensions of family wellness. Wellness is an act of practicing healthy habits on a daily basis to attain better physical and mental health outcomes. So, instead of just surviving, you are thriving. There are 8 wellness dimensions. Among them, emotional, physical, social, environmental wellness plays a major role in family wellness. So, what are the 8 wellness dimensions? The first one is emotional and mental wellness. By spending time with family members every day, wherein which all members team up to improve relationships when facing challenges. Individuality is respected and needs are fulfilled and trust is built, maintaining good communication. Physical wellness. Physical wellness is affected by physical activity, healthy nutrition, and adequate sleep. Regular practice of sports, games, and other recreational activities. Provide family members with relaxation from the everyday stress on work and school. As noted, balanced diet and regular workout have a key role in health wellness of the family members. Environmental wellness. A family environment which provides a feeling of safety and physiologically security for all members of the family. Setting up positive quality lighting, dividing household duties among family members, night out with family members and vacations, open and meaningful conversation between family members where play a key role in family wellness. Social wellness. Social wellness involves building healthy, nurturing, and supportive relationships, as well as fostering a genuine connection with those around you. Reduce social media, more personal communication with friends and family members, maintaining good relationship with neighborhood and friends, participating in community events with family members are the most important things in social wellness. To the next, occupational. It is the ability to achieve a balance between work and leisure in a way that promotes health, a sense of personal and family satisfaction. Doing a job will give stability for the family. We can meet the needs of the family. It can also inspire the children to achieve their goals. Financial. It focuses on how effectively managing your family economic life. Financial stability is very important for a family to live well. It helps you to manage the bills and expenses, plan for long-term financial, etc. Having a regular saving plan is also one of the important things you can do for the family well-being. Intellectual dimension encourages creative, stimulating mental activities. It explains about recognizing one's creative abilities among the family members and finding way to expand the skills, knowledge, and it provides more support and care among themselves. Then to the last, spiritual. It involves processing a set of guiding beliefs, principles, or values that give direction for a family. Periodic health examination. Periodic health examination. So different age groups have different problems. The way in which we tackle each one with a solution. That's the purpose of the family wellness plan. So what is periodic health examination? A group of tasks designed either to determine the risk of subsequent disease or to identify disease in its early symptomless stage based on identification and assessment of risk factors that may be present in liver patients. Based on different age groups, there is a certain exam that must be taken. It depends on the state of the patient. So there are four different components of a periodic health examination, which includes lifestyle counseling, which mainly includes diet and other effects on smoking, drinking, exercises, sleeping, etc., and screening, vaccination, and chemo prevention. Screening test it's necessary for appropriate for that person. Vaccination can be provided for that age group, and chemo prevention is giving supplements if needed. Health risk assessment. The key to preventive medicine is the identification of risk factors. So, what is health risk assessment? Screening tool used to evaluate your health risk and quality of life. The risk factors are weight gain, weight management and obesity, smoking, hazardous chemicals, environment pollution, family history of illness, and alcohol. So, other than this, there are psychosocial factors in psychosocial factors in physical examination. Um, Effective strategies for coping with challenge. That how are they coping with their families with certain illness? Perceived control of life outcomes. Expression of positive emotions. Social integration, emotionally rewarding relationships, and the quality of relationships in the home, parent-child, spousal ties, and the workplace. As long as you have identified the risk factors, you know how to educate or the counsel the patient. This is a big help because it's a part of the management. We need to have those skills, communication skills like active listening, etc., to motivate a change in behavior. Lifestyle is everything about behavior. Okay. Lifestyle check. Body weight. Body weight it is necessary to maintain our weight. For that, we will compute our BMI. BMI is body mass index. It is calculated by weight divided by height. Weight in kilogram, height in meter. So, what's a normal BMI? Uh, Between 18.5 to 24.9 is a normal BMI. We use Asia specific classification. As the classification rises, the risk increases also. Exercising, physical activities, prescription. 150 hours of moderate intensity exercise in a week is good for the health. Target health rate, we will calculate target health rate like in 220 minus age into factor. Factor is 0.6 to 0.7, 0.9. WHO now recognize household cost exercise. The exercise includes walking, running, cycling, swimming, rowing, and jump roping. And the most effective one is jump roping, but walking for an hour daily is enough for a healthy life. Other than BMI, we'll also calculate weight circumference. So weight circumference is health risk related to increased visceral fat, that's central obesity. So we can measure the waist circumference by in a standing patient from the midway the axial line between lower rib and iliac crest. For men, if the waist circumference is above 90 centimeter, they have a high risk for some diseases. For women, it is around 80 centimeters. Now, for sleep deprivation, at least 8 hours of sleep per day is necessary. It has become increasingly evident that poor sleep with sleep retention difficulties and independent risk factor for cardiac events among men. Poor quality of life was predicted by reduced sleep. Smoking. Nicotine is the main content in tobacco. It is a drug naturally found in tobacco. Produces a pleasurable feeling. As addictive as heroin and cocaine, makes the smoke physically and psychologically dependent. Even after quitting, it will stay in our blood for 3 to 4 days. So the most hazardous one is the second-hand smoke, the environmental smoke, because 85% of smoke from cigarette is emitted from the burning end into the air breathed by people around the smoker. That smoke contains the same smoke inhaled directly by the smoker, and why it is more dilute and associated with a similar range of diseases as exposing non-smoker. Hygienic behavior. Good hand washing. If clean, running water is not accessible as in common in many parts of the world. Use soap and available water, because we all know transmission of diseases from poor hygiene. Then other factors include stress management. Stress management is something that we can help with patient. Stress is not what happens to someone. Stress is how a person react to what happened. Okay. The other component is screening. What is the definition of screening? Screening for physically the history of patient, laboratory examination, especially if he has already has a disease. But there are other things when here is many factors that you must check for, like if a family has a breast cancer mammogram, if the family has a prostate CABRE, it's like we should screen for what they have. And for male and female above 50 years, we'll usually check for BP, eye exam, oral cavity exam. For male, we'll check for lipid profile, FPS or 75 gm or GTT, FOBT. And for female, we clearly check for pap smear and mammogram. Vaccination. The National Center for Disease Prevention and Control recommends routine vaccination to prevent 17 vaccine preventable diseases that occurs in infants, children, adolescents, and adults. So the immunization process stimulates the body's own immune system to protect the person against the infections or disease. So immunization is an important part of periodic health examination for both children and adults. We will take different vaccination different age time. At birth, after 2 months, 4 months, 6 months, 10 months, 12 months. So chemo prevention. Chemo prevention is the refers to use of chemical agent, drugs, or food supplements to prevent disease. Supplementation, other prophylaxis like against chronic diseases, against cancer, post-operative, and travel medicine also. Like iron and vitamin A for children, folic acid for prenatal and postnatal care for alcoholics, aspirin for diabetics, chloroquine for travelers to malaria endemic places.
Hello, myself, Suresh Arya. Steps for family wellness plan. The key to successful goal setting is planning. Establishing fitness and eating goals and habits for your family can provide long-term benefits that help prevent illness. A well-designed family wellness plan can create lifelong healthy habits and better mental and physical health overall. The time spent designing the plan is well worth the effort. Next slide, please. Step 1, consider everyone's goals, needs, and interests. Every member of your family is different, and those differences need to be considered. Sit down together and make lists for each person: age, dietary restrictions, health concerns, and obligation. Think about the patterns and routines that have formed in your household. Identifying what everyone needs to stay well will help you determine the best routine for individual goals. And step 2, plan an exercise program. For a healthy family, the most important one is health. Regular exercise programs can reduce stress, anxiety, and also several health issues like BP, diabetes, and also it's important to maintain body weight. Schedule time for family workouts that will keep the momentum and motivation alive. Family bike rides and walks also be an enjoyable way to spend time together. Step 3, a balanced diet. Find recipes that have lower fat or lighter versions of your family's favorite foods. Also plan and shop for healthy snacks that family likes. Try to avoid unhealthy foods. Step 4, interact with family members. In this modern era, due to the development of technologies, the daily communication among family members are lowered. Having a good interaction among family members will help you to seek out emotional and mental depressed state. So it's important to schedule a particular time for interaction among family members where they can share about their their emotional feelings, social, school and office incidents, any health concerns, and any social matters. Step 5, create a weekly schedule. Set a weekly family schedule for shopping, cooking, trip, and being all active together. Teaching your kids a nutritious recipe or showing them importance of regular exercise will set them up a lifetime of healthier habits. Step 6, set a budget. Looking at your family members' needs and routines, maybe it's clear all you need to fix a budget. Examine your daily expenditures, how much you spend on education, shopping, and other activities can help set your budget. Next slide, please. Thank you. That's all for today.
Okay, thank you, Group 7. So this is like a review of your first year. And why did we place it on your third year? Because you have had your all your other major subjects that would help you make a good family plan for your patients. You've gone through your medicine, you've got through your pediatrics, you've gone through your um, obstetrics. Thereby, it will help you make a more comprehensive family wellness plan for the family and an individual. You know how to take care of children, adults, and reproductive aged women. Okay, so what's important and often overlooked? Nutrition. Okay, so it's easy to tell your patients limit your sugar intake. Follow your DASH diet. But what you should know how to do would be how to compute for your nutritional daily caloric requirement for the individual and correlate that to how much exercise you will prescribe a patient. It's easy to say exercise 3 times a week, but how will you tailor fit that to an individual and the family? How will you say, how would you prescribe exercise? How would you translate this into clinical practice when you talk to your patients? Or you have to have your moderate exercise 3 times a day. How will you counsel your patient? Anyone from the group?
Sorry, Doc.
How will you counsel your patient on how to exercise?
Doc, based on calorie, like first of all, we will calculate the maintenance calorie of the patient. Like for an obese person, it will be around 2,500. But we will calculate for the first week, we will calculate the maintenance calorie, like it will be 2,000 calories. Then after that, we will add calorie deficit by decreasing 200, 300, and 400 systematically. After that, we will calculate how much calorie a person can burn within 1 week, within 2 weeks, within 3 weeks. Like that, we will.
That's caloric intake. So you will tell you how much carbohydrates can you take in? How much protein can you take in? How much fats can you take in? So 1 cup of rice is equal to how many calories? And thereby you compute and you have your exchanges and you have your nutritional components. Okay. Our hospital or most hospitals would have their nutritional counseling programs. You could refer patients to dietitians who would compute for you. But as doctors, you should have an idea on what your caloric requirements would be for certain types of diseases. For example, if you have renal pathology, what should you have? What should you cut back on? Your creatinine is increased. Those are collaterals of hypertension or diabetes or any other kidney disease. What should you restrict? What's your diet restriction? What should you eat less of? Anyone?
For a yes, sir. For a patient with renal disease, there will be changes like we should limit the fluids, and for a will prescribe
Yes,
patient to eat
fluids is what? What else?
like eating a low protein diet by
You
injecting
have to have a
steroids.
low protein diet, so you have to limit your protein intake.
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. For diabetics, what do we limit?
Limiting salt, potassium.
That's still for renal. For diabetics, we limit your carbohydrate or your simple sugars. Okay, it becomes more complicated if the disease is present in both. You have diabetic and renal pathology, which is quite common. Okay? So one of the neglected aspects of wellness would be nutrition and exercise. Exercise. How would you prescribe exercise? How will you tell your patient to exercise? Oh, you run 10 kilometers per day.
No,
You
not
have to
10
tell,
kilometers, sir. Walking
you
10
have to
minutes.
walk 10 minutes, moderate brisk to moderate walking. Okay.
Yes, sir. Depending on the
Cardiac
condition of the patient also.
exercise. Okay.
Yes,
A
sir. If
little
the
strength
patient,
training for some. Yeah, but you have to tailor. Or what physical activities do you enjoy doing? You ask your patient. Or what does the family enjoy doing together? Okay. Nutrition and exercise. Okay. What are your other components of your family wellness plan that's important? Remember, you go back to your first year topics. You have your primary, secondary, and tertiary prevention. What are the four components again? Can you go
uh,
back to that slide?
yes, sir. Lifestyle counseling, screening,
Lifestyle
vaccination.
counseling.
Yes, sir.
So that would be your primary prevention, change in diet, change in risk behavior. What else?
Then
Stress, sleeping.
it
Okay.
includes diet.
Again.
Then it includes sleeping, smoking, hygienic behavior, and
Yeah.
not
So those
eating.
are some examples, but not limited to. Screening. So what are the screening modalities that you know of? And I'm sure compared to your first year knowledge, you would have more knowledge on what screening modalities there is for every type of disease. You've gone through medicine, pedia, and obstetrics. Screening for cervical cancer is what? And you have to tailor fit it to your patient. Does patient have a high risk of um diabetes, hypertension? These are your heredofamilial diseases. High risk of cancer? Well, you may want to screen earlier.
Yes, sir.
And of course, we could not emphasize the importance of vaccination, especially in our current situation. And it's not just your COVID. You have to make sure that the other preventable diseases that we have already minimized could not go back. And sometimes it does. We have almost had zero cases for 10 years in the Philippines for measles. But around 3 to 4 years back, there were some cases. So we have to ramp up vaccination um, initiation. And your chemo prevention, what does it mean? Go to that slide, please. Okay, your chemo prevention. So this is not um This is not what you call chemotherapy. Okay. So it's the use of drugs as supplements to prevent disease. So these are your supplementation, your vitamins, your coenzymes. What's the, aside from vitamins, what do they usually supplement to prevent disease? Especially with COVID, it became rampant the use of antioxidants, especially in treating or preventing cancer, chronic disease, or you take your antioxidants, your coenzymes, or your super nutraceuticals, her medicine, drink or food that they say would have a lot of antioxidant properties. Okay. Of course, post-operative depends on what kind of operation was done. Example, if you've done a stomach surgery, bariatric surgery, there are certain needs for that patient. Or ovarian surgery in a reproductive aged woman. What do you do? If you remember obstetrics, what do you do? Why is there need for chemo prevention in women that you remove the ovary early? What have you learned in OP? What does estrogen do as protection to the woman? What systems does it protect? Remember, women are protected from heart attacks as long as they have their menses. They have their bones protected. They have the vagina protected, elasticity of the vagina. And why is that so? Because as long as you are menstruating, you are capable of pregnancy. And your estrogen or your ovaries provide that protection such that we could adapt to the changes in pregnancy. How about travel? What's chemo prevention as far as travel is concerned? You have an idea?
Yes, so as you're traveling to Japan, we will get malaria from that. So we can have that vaccine before that. We'll take enough medicine for that.
Okay. So you have chemo prevention for certain endemic diseases.
Yes, so.
For example, malaria is also prevalent in Palawan, a province of the Philippines, but it is a tourist destination. So you give prophylaxis. What else? You wade in water, flood water. You know that you might have had contact with rat urine. Therefore, you have leptospirosis, and you could do prevention by taking doxycycline. Things like that. Okay. So I hope that with revisiting your family wellness plan topic,
Okay.
you understand or you appreciate more on how to foster or how to advocate wellness in the family or in the individuals, such that you could build on their current lifestyle and improve their health. Aside from that, what else should you focus on. Of course, now mental health is very much in question. How will you check for mental health of an individual or the family?
There will be a depression assessment test for doctor.
Again,
There will be a proper depression assessment test. Like you'll ask enough questions to understand the patient's mindset.
okay. What else? Suicide. You have to be on the lookout for depression. And remember, you're in your psychiatry. Sometimes there are people who are still functional but depressed. You have to be on the lookout for those kinds of people because that's the one that's very dangerous. On the outside, it may seem that there's nothing wrong. They may be having an excellent life, excellent jobs, excellent careers, but deep inside, there's something lacking with how they view life. So you look at mental health, relationships. Some would prefer relationships. Some would shy away from them. It will depend on the personality. Okay? But what's similar for all of us would that we have to maintain an optimum mental health status for us to perform. And suicide and depression would be one of the things that we have to address. Okay. Any questions from the class, from the group? I thought we will have community organizing for this morning. I think we had a misconception. Anyways, we'll just have that next week. Still, we won't have an exam. We'll have the exam for the next. So we'll have community or diagnosis and problem prioritization for the next week. Okay? Any questions?